dhaqan celis literally makes zero sense because dhaqan celis is a Somali concept where because Somali parents they don't have a good grip on their children, and maybe the children are rebelling. They're rebelling from they're just rebelling, and Somali parents, they just don't understand how to survive in a Western country. They're coming from Somalia, like they they don't want to learn the language. The parents don't want to learn the language. They don't want to do anything. All they care about is religion, which is not even true. They don't give a fuck about religion. They just use it as a crutch. But so when the child is doing things that the parent disapproves of, what Somali parents do is they basically, it's called like some kind of attitude adjustment. They have some type of attitude adjustment, and they send their child to Somalia. They send their child to fucking Somalia, back to Somalia, the country that they fucking ran away from and came to the West for. Bear in mind, our parents they're failures. The first generation of Somalis are failures, absolute failures. They couldn't build up the country of Somalia. They failed as a parent. They failed as a countryman. They failed at everything. And then they came over to the West so that they could seek a better life. And they failed at that too. And they failed at being a parent. So once they fail at being a parent, of course your child's gonna be wilding out and doing everything because you're not a good parent. You didn't teach him the right things to do. You didn't teach him anything. You think that parenting means dhaqan. You think that sending your child back to Somalia, a fucking war-torn country that has no prospects, nothing, zilch, nada, one of the worst countries on the planet, and you send that your child back to Somalia, and you know that your child is not going to be successful in Somalia. You just know that. You're hoping and praying that he gets an attitude adjustment, but that's not going to happen. In reality, when parents send their child to Somalia, what they're actually thinking, this is expectation. They expect that the child is magically going to become reformed and magically somehow become this perfect person. They send them to this boarding school, which is not really a boarding school, it's more of a prison. So in Somalia, it's so backwards that your parents can just send you to jail just because they want you in jail. Like there's no law, there's no like law preventing them. There's no even, they didn't even break any laws. The parent just wants them in jail. So you have no freedom in Somalia. Somalia is one of the worst countries on the planet. It's backwards as hell. So you're just gonna get sent to jail just because your parents want you there. So once you go to boarding school, which is really a prison, it's just a euphemism for prison. They say boarding school. Your parents tell you, oh, boarding school, but it's really a prison, to be honest. They send you to this prison and they think that you're going to change. They think that you're going to get better. I've heard people tell me experiences where they went to this Daganadis place and they came out on the other side full of shit. They came out on the other side worse than they came in. So even if your child is a drug dealer, addict, alcoholic, they tend to send their children there if they're alcoholics, drug dealers, addicts, or if they're not religious, they don't believe in religion, they send them over there for a attitude cultural adjustment, which doesn't even make sense. Like, why would you send your child to Somalia just for an attitude adjustment? Because you failed as a parent and now you want to go to plan B, which is send them back to Somalia. What's that going to do? The only thing that's going to do is make them resent you and hate you because you failed, and now you want to get rid of your parental duties to raise your child. You didn't raise your child properly. You fucked up. And that's why your child is fucked up, because of you. The parents failed. It's the parents' fault. They fucked up. They just aren't good at parenting. Somali parents are probably one of the worst parents on the planet. Literally one of the worst parents on the planet. They don't set you up for success. They don't try to help you reach new levels in your education. They don't care about any of that. They say, "Oh, this world is temporary. Who cares about education? Who cares about getting a good job? And who cares about this? Who cares about?" The only thing they care about is benefits and working as an Uber driver or whatever the fuck. And it shows in the country of Somalia. That's why the country of Somalia is so run down and shitty and garbage, because the people are garbage, because the government is garbage. And sending your child back to a war-torn country is really not going to change their situation. It's not going to change their reality. It's not going to change anything for them. You're just sending them over there because you feel guilty and you failed as a parent. They all failed as a parent. The first generation of Somalis failed. All of them are just failures. That's why they're here. And if you're shit in your own country, you're going to be shit in a new country. And that's why most of them are just cab drivers. All the Somali men are cab drivers. The women are just on benefits. And then you wonder why your child's not successful, because they have you as an example. You're a fuck up. What makes you think your child's not going to be a fuck up? And then you're like, "Oh my God, he's a fuck up. What should I do? Send him back to..." So that is your only fucking... That's how you try to overcome something. You send them back to Somalia? Are you serious? Are you serious? You send them back to Somalia? A country that you ran away from because you thought that you were going to get shot in the head? You thought that you were going to die? You thought that you were in danger? You thought that you were going to get your head blown off? And you send them back there? Are you serious? Are you serious? That just disgusts me. Honestly, Somali parents do disgust me, because they failed as parents, so they throw them off to a different country, a boarding school that it's not even a boarding school. What they do in this school, they beat the child up real bad. They don't give them any food. They throw them in a prison cell. They force them to read the Quran. They beat them with a stick. They have no freedom. It's like, what? That's insane. Like, I mean, that's crazy, you know? And what do? How do they trick their child to go to dhaqan? They tell them that they're going on holiday, and then they just send them over to Somalia. They send them over to Somalia, and they tell them they're going on holiday. That's what happened to my sister. They lied to her because she was dating a white dude, and they sent her back to dhaqan. And then they realized they fucked up. They brought her back. She got married to some abdi that nobody gives a fuck about. And that's like so insane to me. My own parents are fuck ups too. My dad's a fuck up, and my mom's a fuck up too. And that's why they did that. They did that to my sister because they're fuck ups. They don't know how to raise children. They just have children. They enjoy having sex. That's it. That's pretty much it. Dhaqan is just retarded. And Somali parents mostly are retarded too.